Section 7 of the Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri, translated by Courtney Langdon. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Inferno, Canto 7. The fourth circle, Intemperance and Wealth, Misers and Prodigals. The fifth circle.
Pepe Satan, Alepe!
Thus Plutus with his clucking voice began. That noble sage then, who knew everything, said to encourage me,
Let not thy fear distress thee, for, whatever power he have, he'll not prevent our going down this rock.
Then to those swollen lips he turned around and said,
Be silent, thou accursed wolf, with thine own rage consume thyself within. Not causeless is our going to the bottom. There is it willed on high, where Michael wrought vengeance upon the arrogant rebellion.
As sails, when swollen by the wind, fall down entangled when the mast breaks, even so down to the ground the cruel monster fell. Into the fourth ditch we descended thus, advancing further o'er the woeful edge which bags all evil in the universe. Justice of God, alas! Who heapeth up the many unheard of toils and pains I saw, and wherefore doth our sin torment us so? As yonder o'er Charybdis doth the sea, which breaks against the one it runs to meet, so must the people dance a ring dance here. I here saw folk more numerous than elsewhere, on one side and the other, with great howls rolling big weights around by strength of chest. They struck against each other, then, right there, each turned, and rolling back his weight, cried out,
Why keepest thou?
And
Wherefore throw away?
They circled thus around the gloomy ring on either hand unto the point opposed, still shouting each to each their vile refrain. Then each turned back, when through his own half-ring he had attained the other butting-place. And I, whose heart was well-nigh broken, said, Now, teacher, show me who these people are, and tell me whether all these tonsured ones upon our left ecclesiastics were. And he replied to me,
They each and all were in their first life so squint-eyed in mind that they with measure used no money there. Clearly enough their voices bark it forth, whene'er they reach the 2 points of the ring where difference in fold unmateth them. These churchmen were, who have no hairy covering upon their heads, and popes and cardinals, among whom avarice works its mastery.
And I to him, Among such men as these I surely, teacher, ought to recognize a few, who by these sins polluted were. And he to me,
Thou shapest a vain thought, the undiscerning life which made them foul, now to all recognition makes them dark. To these 2 shocks they'll come eternally. These from the sepulchre will rise again, close-fisted. These, shorn of their very hair, ill-giving and ill-keeping took from them the lovely world, and set them at this fray. To qualify it I'll not use fair words. Now canst thou, son, behold the short-lived cheat of riches that are put in fortune's care, and for whose sake the human race contends. For all the gold there is beneath the moon, and all that was there once, could not avail to make one of these weary spirits rest.
Teacher, said I to him, now tell me further, what is this fortune thou dost touch upon, which hath the world's good things thus in her claws?
O foolish creatures,
said he then to me,
how great the ignorance which hurteth you! I'd have thee swallow now my thought of her, the one whose knowledge everything transcends, so made the heavens, and so gave guides to them, that every part on every other shines, thus equally distributing the light. Likewise for worldly splendours he ordained a general minister and guide, to change from time to time the vain goods of the world from race to race, from one blood to another, past all resistance by the minds of men. Wherefore one people governs, and the other declines in power, according to her judgment, which hidden is as in the grass a snake. Your knowledge is not able to resist her, foreseeing she decides and carries on her government as theirs the other gods. Her permutations have no truce at all. Necessity compels her to be swift. Hence oft it happens that a change occurs. This is the one who is so often cursed even by those who ought to give her praise, yet give her blame amiss, and ill repute. But she is blessed, and gives no heed to that. Among the other primal creatures glad, she turns her sphere, and blessed enjoys herself. But now to woe more piteous let's descend. Now falls each star that rose when I set out, and one is here forbidden too long a stay.
We crossed the circle to the other bank over a bubbling stream that poureth down along a ditch which from it takes its shape. Then purple-black, much darker was its water, and we, accompanying its dusky waves, went down and entered on an uncouth path. A swamp it forms which hath the name of Styx, this dismal little brook, when it hath reached the bottom of the grey malignant slopes. And I, who was intensely gazing there, saw muddy people in that slimy marsh, all naked and with anger in their looks. They struck each other, not with hands alone, but with their heads and chests, and with their feet, and rent each other piecemeal with their teeth. Said the good teacher,
Son, thou seest now the souls of those whom anger overcame. Nay, more, I'd have thee certainly believe that 'neath the water there are folk who sigh, and make this water bubble at its surface, as wheresoever it turn, thine eye reveals. Stuck in the slime, they say,
Sullen we were, in the sweet air that's gladdened by the sun, bearing within us fumes of surliness. We now are sullen in the swamp's black mire.
This hymn they gurgle down inside their throats, because they cannot utter it with perfect speech. And so we circled round the filthy fen, a great arc between the dry bank and the marsh, our eyes intent on those that swallow mud. And to a tower's foot we came at last.
End of Inferno Canto 7.